Oh,
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another Dead Funny Top 3. Chris here again to give you a list of some more games for you to check out while we are in the whole Shocktober, Spooktober, October, whatever you want to call it. So today's topic, we are going to be covering some team survival games. There's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of really bad ones out there. Some that we've played on the channel. There's also some really good ones that we played on the channel as well. I'm going to be going over what my opinion is the top 3 are that are out there to get. So when we're talking about the team survival games, this is just strictly you. It can be, honestly, you can do it solo as well. But anywhere from 1 to 4 players, and there's no option for a 5th player to be on the bad side. Perfect example of that, Dead by Daylight. We also had under our Ghost Games Haunt Chaser, which gave you that option. This is not one of those. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it. So starting off at the number 3 spot. We'll go number 3, work our way up to 1 here. So starting off at the number 3 spot, I think I would have to give it to Pacify. I don't know, obviously, how many of you have played Pacify yet, but it is kind of your normal. You have you have an objective. The objective is always going to be the same type deal. For instance, we've played Dolls. That's out on the channel. I believe coming out soon should be the farm, and then after that, the woods, because we've done all those for the channel. They really stepped it up with the woods. The woods was done really well. There were a lot more pieces, so it didn't feel as normal. It didn't feel as it didn't feel like we were just doing the same thing over and over again, due to the fact that there were couple aspects to it. I mean, realistically, you're still doing the same thing over and over again, but with them adding more things to do, more things to get, definitely made it funner. But yeah, so Pacify would definitely have to come in that 3rd place slot. Most of these games, especially with this list right now, are very easy to pick up, very cheap, right off of Steam. I think most of them are like either $3 to $5, so it's not bad. But that being said, yeah, Pacify Dolls was the first level that we played, and that was a lot of fun, where basically you got the little girl who's possessed. You can pick up a doll and use it for safety, unless it's a marked doll. If it's a marked doll, you got to burn those. And if you burn, I believe it's 9 of those to the 7 or 9, then that's whenever you pacify the girl, and then you're able to move on to the next level, which is the farm. We have, like I said, those coming out to the channel. I know Pacify Dolls is already out. I don't know if Farm is hit yet. I think Farm's supposed to be coming out this weekend, and then the Woods shortly after that one. But definitely make sure you check those out to get a little bit better view of what those games entail. But yeah, Pacify was definitely a top hitter for me. And safely in the 3rd place spot, and the reason why is because I think the other 2 are built a little bit better. Definitely number 1, in my opinion, is the top. I haven't got to play it since the new update, so I'm hoping to get some of that in. Whether it's going to make the channel or not, that's a completely different story. But yeah, I'm excited to get to the number 1 spot, because I enjoy that game a lot. But anyways, so yeah, I mean, a lot of these games are being made now where it is the whole 4-player versus the AI, and the AI is just kind of like a wandering thing, and there's certain things you have to do. Perfect example of that game gone wrong is Lunch Lady. We played Lunch Lady, and I don't think a single person who was on that team enjoyed the game. It wasn't done well, in my opinion. There's just no option to be able to get away from the Lunch Lady once she has you, and finding stuff. I don't know. Maybe we need to play it again, but yeah, it just didn't seem that fun to me. I don't feel like anybody else on the team had fun, and that's just an example of one of the bad ones. Not to mention, there's a lot of negative reviews on it for Bitcoin mining with your GPU or whatever. So take it take it how you want. But yeah, so Pacify, like I said, definitely a solid number 3. But let's go ahead and jump into number 2. So number 2 would have to be Devour. Devour, you've seen us play on here. Also, the new Devour map came out. We also recorded that. That'll be coming out later this month as well. Definitely make sure you check that out. But Devour is a lot like Pacify, but better in my opinion. The game has a creepier atmosphere to it than Pacify does. They really drive that home, mainly dealing with the fact that possibly because you're a group of Satanists and you're dealing with demons and shit, so maybe that's why it's a lot more creepier. I think the latest map was good. We had fun with it, and it was hard. We didn't beat it, but I feel that they really hit their stride with the second map. The second map just felt super creepy the entire time. I think that was easily their best one. Definitely think it needs more work moving forward as far as like to try to capture that essence, like being in that insane asylum, the enemies that we had in there. Molly was super fucking creepy. Just the whole thing was just done really, really well. And I was hoping they would capture that and bring that forward. And this new one with the spiders, like, unless you're like, unfortunately, like JoJo, where you have a fear of spiders, I really didn't feel that terrified of it. I mean, the boss was creepy, sure, but it didn't have the same feel to me as the second one did. The second one was a lot creepier. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Once again, it's another game. You get in, you got your objective. You got to do your objective so many times to weaken the thing. And once you get all the way to the end, you win. But the more you do it, the stronger the thing becomes until you finally get it completely done. So yeah, it is another one of those games. There's a lot of those games out there. Once again, we've already talked about Lunch Lady. Pacify also fits under that list. I just think this one is done a little bit better than Pacify. And it's definitely worth picking up. Once again, like I said, these games are pretty cheap to pick up. But yeah, the story is kind of interesting, especially due to the fact that they use different characters that you technically pick and play with as well, which is pretty cool. So, like, for instance, Molly was a character you could be in the first game, and then she was the evil entity in the second game, and now you have her again for the third one. Ugh, excuse me. So, yeah, it is one of those things where it's like kind of interesting how they use the different characters for the story versus just giving you something completely different. I don't know if they're trying to make you like feel bad or attachment for the characters or whatever and want to save them. I'm not sure what their end goal is there with that one, but you know, hey, if it works, right? So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and end that number 2 and move on to the number 1 spot. The number 1 spot, which I'm super excited to talk about, is Sign of Silence. Sign of Silence we definitely have on the channel. I don't know if we have any first gameplays up. I know we streamed the hell out of that game when it first came out, but I do know that we had a Dead Buddies where we tried to just run through it. Sign of Silence, by far, is probably my favorite survival like run around game due to difficulty, atmosphere, and just how it's a situation where you can use teamwork to do it, but you don't necessarily need to, and it is completely different from all the other ones where it's like, you know, go do 7 of this or go do 9 of that. So with Sign of Silence, it looks like you're a group of friends who ran off the road, crashed, and now you're in this weird fucking town, and it's super fucking dark, hard to see. You make loud noises all the time. There's like this fucking witch that's like a fucking gigantic human centipede looking thing that comes out of the ground, chases you down if they hear the noise, da 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 da. You've got tons of beasts around that, you know, operate more on noise, or if you shine their light directly on them. There's cultists walking around that are trying to kill you. There's just so much shit going on. They just added 2 more monsters that I haven't even got a chance to get back in there and play and try yet. On top of that, you can escape, and there's multiple ways to escape, which is the fun part. So it's kind of like that aspect of where we talked about with Friday the 13th, where you have the different aspects to be able to escape, or different options to be able to escape. And you have to go through and try to collect those things and move forward. And there's also like notes and shit that are telling you like things about the town, things that happen, what's been going on. So it's just really, really done well. It definitely could be polished up. It definitely has that feeling of like this was obviously not made by like a super big company. But yeah, it does a really good job of hitting that creepy atmosphere. Definitely has you on edge, trying to make sure you're getting through it. At one point you're just walking through and you're accidentally stepping on glass, which is super loud, or leaves or whatever, and you're scaring off fucking groups of crows, which you didn't fucking see, which were making loud fucking noises, or you're fucking sitting right there. Next thing you know, you didn't see there's a fucking dog in a fucking kennel next to you, and he's fucking barking and going off. Like there's just so much that can really fuck you in that game, and there's a, I don't know. It does seem like there's a lot of options to fight back. Now I do know they've been adding like crossbow and stuff like that to the game. I haven't played with any of that yet, so I don't know how much it's changed. But the old school Sinus Islands definitely was already up there, so I have the feeling that hopefully with the add-ons it's just getting better. Hopefully to get around and play that soon, that'd be awesome. But yeah, Sinus Islands definitely top of the board for me, easily the number one slot. I had a lot of fun playing it. It's a game where, you know, like I said, with it not being a AAA title, I've already pointed out multiple times, to whether it's people offline. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this on a podcast before. Like, I just want to go through and like get all the escapes. Like, I want to see what all the escapes are, knock them all out, see what they do. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this list. Once again, these are games to play with friends. You can do them solo if you want to. That's what I'm planning for the next video to be, is more just solo scary games to go through. Those of you who don't really have anybody to play with, because you don't have friends that like scary games, or you just like playing solo games in general. So yeah, hopefully that's going to be what the next video will be about. We'll get some solo scary games in there. Once again, I'm just trying to give you guys a chance to pick up some of these scary games that are out there. If I had to give you an honorable mention, it would be Labyrinth. It's still kind of an alpha phase right now. But when we played it the first time, we really enjoyed it. But there was a lot of like, when they released the next patches, it looked like it just started us back from the beginning, and it's kind of hard to want to jump back into it whenever there's so many puzzles and stuff you have to solve. So these puzzles take a while. But Labyrinth, if it's your first time getting a chance to look at it, picking it up's not a bad idea, and just kind of seeing how that goes. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on the notifications. That way you get notified next time we upload another video. Hit us in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts and views on some of these games. If you played them, if you plan on picking them up, and whenever you pick them up, what did you think about them? Also, don't forget, we have the Twitter and the Switches down there as well. And other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next time.